I've realized there's a lot of people that kind of want to feel like extra involved in the process. Like I've had clients that were like, "Hey, can you I want like a ball taper or whatever," and I put a ball taper on it, and they're like, "Can you bald it more?" And I'm like,
"You can't do that."
If I bald it more, I'm taking skin off. I don't know what you expect. And sometimes I literally just pretend. Like, pretend. Especially if I know they being picky about something they don't understand because they explain to me and it's not making sense. I just go through the motion. Or it's like, a lot of times people don't know exactly what they're talking about, but you gotta like read between lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like I make maybe just one slight adjustment. It could be an imaginary adjustment. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hell yeah, that's perfect. But it's what they really wanted. They just wanted
you
to
did
feel like...
You did a placebo. That's what you did. That's a placebo.
High key, but it's
that's
like...
crazy.
Like most of the time, most haircuts are placebos. Because most haircuts are very similar. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you feel about the cut after is what determines how you... Like, you know what I'm saying? Your evaluation of it. Like, I know people that... Like, when I was in barber school, a lot of people would do this thing where they'd be like, when somebody get out the chair... Not because it was a bad cut, but they'd be like, "Hey man, that's fine." And the client could have been the whole time in the chair looking like, "Man, this man tearing my shit up." But if enough people like say, "Hey, that's a good cut," and it doesn't seem like cap, they'd be like,
yeah. They right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the quest of the future messiahs, guys. You know, we got the team. You know, we got Giffy over here. Go ahead.
What's good?
With the big ass arms, man. You looking good in that shirt, man. What's that shirt, man?
Appreciate it. We got Kenny J. What's up?
So today we have a guest. You know, we got my favorite barber. He's personally my barber. So, you know, introduce yourself, man.
What's good, y'all? I'm Elvis. Cuts by Elvis, also known as, I guess.
So, you know, just describe, like, to us your journey as a barber. Like, what made you get into cutting hair?
Oh, that's actually like a long story. But it first started when I was in middle school, and I was just cutting my own hair, learning how to do that because your boy couldn't afford no haircuts or whatnot. And that's when you start caring about what girls do. You know what I'm saying? So I was messing myself up a good amount of times, but I was learning YouTube trial and error and whatnot. But then over time, I'm not gonna say I got good. I did not get good, but I got decent to a point where people stopped flaming me up at school. But then I didn't even tell people I cut hair until like college for real. Like I didn't even all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. Like someone brought it up, I mentioned like, oh yeah, I cut hair. But I didn't really consider myself a barber till my freshman year at A&T. And I had like work study. Y'all know work study?
Like work study.
It's better than nothing, you know what I'm saying, for God's, but it's not taking care of none of the bills for real. So I started cutting hair as just like something to pay for textbooks and whatnot. Then also, college BS, you know what I'm saying, a little debauchery.
A little debauchery.
And then I was doing that for like two and a half years, building up clientele. But I was also in school for chemical engineering.
Okay.
And then there was a point where I had to realize, am I going to take this engineering route or I'm going to do this barbering thing? And I realized like engineering, I love engineering. I've always been like on the path of engineering, math and science. That's my whole shit.
You're very practical.
Yeah. Like I knew I had an engineer mind for a really long time. I knew I'd make money there. But I realized I love engineering in the sense of like I love problem solving, I love practical application, math and science and whatnot. But barbering, like even when like I loved cutting hair. Like it didn't make no money, but it's like bro, I felt at peace. Then I realized with engineering there was a lot of things like I didn't care for. I like engineering, but I don't care about engineering other people's problems. And after making some bread, like my own bread in college, I was like, working for somebody? Ugh. So then I switched gears, dropped out to go to barber school. And
did you have any sense of like regrets, like getting out of college just to do something that you truly feel passionate about?
Not really, but there was the feeling of like I mean, okay, so I was gonna graduate late just because I was engineering.
Yeah.
So, but when I dropped out, I was thinking like, dang, all my friends that are still in school. And by the time they graduated, I was like, dang, I could have graduated if I stuck it out. But then I realized like later, all of them were racing to, well, not all of them, a lot of them
all their stuff worked out. But it's like most of them were racing to a finish line that they didn't know what happened after that. But I already had a path that I had a vision for, and that stopped me from regretting everything. If I'm being honest, because I saw something for myself. I knew
you truly knew what you were going for.
Yeah. And I felt like passionate what I was doing. Like even on the hard days, bro, I love cutting hair. There'd be days I'd go to a funeral in the morning, come home, cut some hair, and I'm like, it's a good day. You know what I'm saying? Just cut some hair. I never felt like that over going to class doing engineering. But yeah.
So I guess when you saw, was there anybody that discouraged you from actually becoming a barber? Like besides you going to school and like people are like, kind of making fun of you because you were, practicing. But when you actually told people what you were actually going to do, was people a little bit skeptical about that?
Oh, hell yeah. Like I had aunts and uncles that were like, because like my family is African.
Okay.
So, they're pushing the whole doctor, lawyer, engineer shit. They want a job where...
That reminded me of that DJ Khaled interview on Vlad TV, to where like they was pushing a lot like of immigrants. A lot of immigrants, they push for very, I would say, recognizable jobs instead of jobs where, okay, just make money. You trying to be a doctor or a nurse or...
They want that title.
The title, exactly, the title,
They want it to sting when they brag to their friends.
Facts.
But, so I had a lot of uncles and aunts that were just like, well, engineering, that's the route to go. So when I said, oh no, fuck that, I want to be a barber, oh my goodness, everybody and their mom was talking shit. Anybody can be a barber, this and this and that. But I already knew, but see, the thing is, I didn't let that shit get to me because most of these people were like people that were trying to pick my major and do other things, but they were working at Walmart for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to try to point me in a direction, make sure it's a direction you got some actual knowledge on. Otherwise, it means nothing to me. And then...
That's a good point.
And then I met barbers that made money. Because honestly, I didn't know barbers made money till like right before I dropped out.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I was cutting hair just because I like to, and I was like, made a little bit of bread. But once I saw barbers out here living lives that like, I was like, man, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
So I just took the leap, and now I'm in a place where it's kind of wild. Like, I didn't think it was possible to make engineering money cutting hair. And I'm realizing there's barbers out here shitting on a lot of people. You know what I mean?
I was just about to bring that up too, because I've seen like situations where some barbers are even getting flown out to like these cities and getting paid like thousands of dollars just to cut hair.
Yeah, like it's really lucrative, but I feel like the people just assume because it's like it's a commodity that it's you gotta have cheap prices to be attractive. But I realize like any business, it's all about scaling.
Yeah. Like
the same haircut that I used to charge $5 for, depending on the circumstances, someone would pay $200, and that's one hell of a markup. Like once I learned that, I was like, I can make money doing anything. But that really just opened up my because I realize now it's funny that I'm a barber technically, but I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm kind of done being a professional barber. But I mean, I'll cut hair forever. Like I feel like right now I'm just a dude that's a license to cut hair. Yeah. But like I feel like barbering was the first step in like my entrepreneurial journey. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's when people they used to be rappers. Now they actually did something else, and now they're titled something else instead of the rapper. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or like how YouTubers, they kind of like branch out to mainstream things. Yeah.
Like I used to identify, I'm an engineering type or whatever. Then I realized, bro, we all are bigger than whatever title we try to put ourselves in a box for.
It's a part of you. It's not you.
Yeah, it's just a part of you.
Yeah.
That's real. So now I'm just kind of learning the different sides of me and like playing the different strengths. And I'm realizing, bro, the world is my oyster. If I just apply myself and I got a plan, anything's possible.
That sounds very positive, man. That sounds a little bit inspirating.
Shoot, I'll be trying.
Be barbers.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Hey, bro, I recommend everybody to learn how to cut hair. Not even on some like, that's your set money making way or whatever. Like, I know a lot of barbers that are, honestly, their skill is kind of mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But
it's enough to get through the door, but not enough to be like big. If you get what I'm saying.
See, I mean, the thing is, I know some barbers that is big that artistically, I would say their cuts aren't like top tier, but I realized cutting hair, like being a barber, is so much more than cutting hair. Like it's like the difference between a taper that I used to charge $5 for, and depending on circumstances, $200. The only difference is the person's perception of quality. Mm. I mean, of course, there's I worked on my skills and other things, but most people don't even have most people can't look at a haircut and identify the difference between a good haircut and a great haircut. Everything else, most of the value is based off of the interaction. Yeah.
And that's something, because you come out here and that's something I really value, because you can have a conversation. It's not just, okay, I'm getting a haircut and I'm gone. It's kind of that's where a lot of the guys are able to express themselves. You see what I'm saying? So, have you watched, the movie Barbershop with Ice Cube? Of course. That's, but I'm just asking a question, but at the end of the day, it's not just to come and just cut your hair. It's just really just be able to communicate, and it's where all these guys are, and it's peaceful, and it just creates a good harmony because we all understand each other in a certain fashion. So do you think that you provide that to your clients?
I think I guess indirectly do that, because I realized it wasn't an active decision to be personable in a sense. Even when I first started cutting hair, bro, I had no social skills. None. Bro, now people be like, oh, you a people person, you can see your politics. Bro,
I hate that
awkward
so
as hell,
bad.
Just cut in here, bro.
I hate that so bad. I had a barber, I was looking, I said, why you don't talk? Why you don't talk to me? And he was just I just cut here. I'm like,
see, I realize there's a big difference between being a hair cutter and being a barber. Yeah. A hair cutter is a person that cuts hair, can do the service. Yeah. Okay. A barber is a hair cutter that has a relationship with a client. And people don't pay for there's some people that look at their barber as that's the person that makes my hair shorter. Most people, they're like, my barber? Shit, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Because there's some kind of relationship. Most of the time, you have something in common with your barber. It's because otherwise, there's low incentive to go to somebody who just cuts your hair. Especially when you can find somebody you can click with in some kind of sense. So I feel that's where most of the value is, as far as people's perception of
or what they value within customer service. I remember me and my mom was discussing, and there's this worst McDonald's. I'm not going to the McDonald's just because I like that McDonald's. I like the customer service. I like how they make me feel. Right. So it's I'm not gonna go to the one because you're just giving me food. Nah, there's it's how you give the food, it's how you talk. You're yo, I'm gonna go here next time. And you become friends with those same employees just because y'all had that conversation. Facts, exactly. They might bless you a couple times. So it's I fuck with how you're able to really have a connection with the people that you're cutting, you're barbering. So I would say what was your worst barber experience with a client?
Worst barber experience? Oh,
I know you told me a couple. Told me a couple.
I'd say the worst overall it was just uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable for him. So this was before I was cutting in the shop. I was just cutting out of student apartments and stuff. Yeah. Whatever. And this one, this was a friend of a client who happened to just come in, and he was like, "Oh, can I get a cut?" I was like, "Oh, sure, I got you." He answers the phone when he's getting cut, and that's not a problem for me. But he answers it on speaker, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what conversation you're about to have, but it's hey, I'm cutting hair, it's whatever. He's talking to his girl, right? And then it's first
he was flexing first. He was flexing.
First he was just talking, and then apparently there was some kind of situation where some dude somewhere said he was dealing with his girl, and he just confronted her about it on the phone, on speaker. And I'm like,
he was on some boss moves.
I'm bro, this is not the time. But he's oh, so-and-so said y'all doing this and this and that. Why would he lie? And it's low-key getting heated. I'm sitting here still with clippers on this head. And she's
let me edge you up, bro. She said, fuck you.
And she's oh, no, I'm not lying. This and that. And then, for whatever reason, this dude's well, I'm going to put him on three-way. Puts him on three-way. It's on speaker. Both of them low-key teaming up on this girl. And I'm sitting here cutting hair I can't laugh. This is fucked up. Because homeboy's trying to make it light, but oh man, can I say bitches? Yeah, go. No, bitches ain't shit. No. And then it's I can tell he's choking up a little bit, and I'm like, and like
after crying about getting a fucking cut, bro, that's crazy.
And it's like, I'm not gonna front. I salute him for holding it in. You know what I'm saying? Because if he started crying, I didn't know what I was gonna do. But like,
just imagine putting alcohol in his face after. Yeah, I got this.
You blame it on the alcohol. You're just thinking a lot right now. But, I mean, yeah. So that they had that conversation, but then afterwards, okay. See, I understand that people be doing their dirt or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, literally before this whole conversation with his girl, he was talking to his homeboy about like, oh yeah, I sliding on her. I'm doing this and that. Just keep in mind, he's on his bullshit. So I'm kind of sitting there like, you really sat here and got mad and called another nigga to handle the situation. But I mean, I feel like it increased my discomfort tolerance.
Okay.
When I'm cutting hair, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, I keep a straight face.
Yeah.
Regardless of what nonsense is going on.
That's crazy, though. I think one time I was getting like a haircut, and like this dude was asking just for a lineup for like $5. And the dude was like, no, you don't got no money. He had no money. He only had like $5, right? Mm-hmm. So the guy leaves. So I go there like maybe like 2 weeks later. The dude walks by the shop, just throws cash on the window. Oh. And said, fuck you, and just left. I'm like, bro, what? You could have just got a haircut. He splashed mad money, like, bro, what? Like, come on. Like, I would have been outside. I was chilling. I was chilling. And then I told my barber, I was like, yo, you didn't see that? He was like, no, just cutting here. And he's the one that didn't talk neither, so I'm like, oh, okay.
He was locked in.
Facts, he was doing his thing, you know, but... Speaking of like, you know, crazy clients, you know, have you ever saw, I guess, like you go to this client and then you see him getting a cut by a different person? Like, I feel like that's cheating. You see what I'm saying?
I feel why people feel that.
Oh,
but then
God.
Also, I'm the kind of, maybe I'm just not shit, but I just don't have like.
He's like, I got options.
I can't. It's like you know we got a relationship, but it's not exclusive.
That
you know what I'm saying?
That shit would hurt me though.
It's okay. I feel like
as a barber.
Yeah, like if we had this relationship, man, like and then you go to someone else.
See, but I see what you mean though, because I had a barber that's been cutting my hair since I was like in kindergarten.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's all the way in Durham though.
Yeah.
I'm like currently in Greensboro, and then I also go back home to like Wake Forest.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm not gonna always like have time to like drive either back to like to Durham or like to Greensboro. So sometimes I need to cut like right away.
Yeah.
So sometimes I like have a barber, like I have a barber in like Greensboro.
You gotta have
sidebar.
No, but they were in the same shop. That's like,
shop.
Yeah,
okay,
like
I can understand that.
Okay.
But at the same time, I feel like. Okay, like when I got clients out of the city, or I'm like, let's say booked up, or I just can't get them, I always throw them a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody else. Well, I mean, not just anybody, but somebody. Let's say I get my hair cut by.
Yeah.
But if like, there's been times where somebody like one of my clients would come in and get cut by somebody else, but it's like, I'm also, I would feel no type of way about it because it's like, a haircut is just a service. Like it'd be one thing if he got a haircut, then he went to talking to so and so like, hey bro, this nigga fucked my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like he's talking cash shit over here. I feel like that's a betrayal. Yeah. But it's like if your plug isn't available, you gonna hit.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but like there was a time to where this dude would like cut my hair like this, like a fucking lawnmower, like like that. And I didn't like that because my head would be hurting after. Mm-hmm. So then I go to this one, he does it nice. He, make sure my head feel. Pause. But at the end of the day, it's just. But he makes sure, like, no, but like he makes sure like my shit is right, and he doesn't do it like aggressively. Mm-hmm. So he was like, "Bro, you didn't go to another one." I'm like, he kind of better, like he kind of makes, he just makes sure shit is right.
Personal preference, bro.
You see what I'm saying? But it's like, dang, like you watch those videos to where to be like, "Yo, you went to another barber? That's fake. That you hurt my feelings." And it's like cheating in a way. It's like a little bromance type situation. So
I feel like if your barber got some ego, but also
this is like a minute ago. So
I mean, yeah, but it's like I'm just thinking as a client. I know I'm like, okay, let's say friends. Like you got a lot of friends.
Yeah.
If you stop making friends after the first group of friends you made, you would have never found the friends that were really for you. And I feel like that's a similar thing as far as building relationships with a barber.
Yeah.
Because like it could be the best barber you will ever have. Could be the recommendation I give you.
True.
It was like, oh, you just
if
did
it
yourself
wasn't
dirty.
for him, so he got a little bit not trying to say credit is everything, but it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have met the barber that he needed. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I meant just like, I mean, okay, I guess in a sense, but I meant just like, even if it's okay. So the dude that cuts my hair, cuts by his side, he's like that. He's like that. He's usually my go-to recommendation of other people. But there's some people that like they love his service. They love how they cut. He cuts their hair, but it's like they used to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody has their own little preferences about little things. And I know a lot of my clients, they don't even have a perception of what a good haircut is. They just know when they sit down in my chair, it's gonna be handled and it's gonna be good vibes.
Yeah.
A lot of people pay me for vibes exclusively, and they're like, "Oh, I need a haircut because I got to take pictures." So I don't like, and I also realize everybody has different bait that they respond to as far as like a barber or like a haircut service. Like some people, they just want their corners a specific way. Nothing else matters. Some people, I don't care about none of that. I want my waves popping on top. If you mess that up, you're dead. So it's like, it's very like, because everybody's such an individual, I think it's best for everybody to just go out and find who their best individual fit with. Mm-hmm. So I'm never like hogging clients because it's like clients are like blessings, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be flowing, and it's like if I hold them, it's gonna keep me from being able to get more.
You gotta leave the nest someday.
True. And it's like a lot of my clients aren't people that I cut as frequent anymore, but they're like, I've sent them recommendations here and there, or let's say they graduated and now they live over here, they're doing big things, and it's like I might cut them once a year, like Jiho or something. But because we have that relationship, I consider them my client. Yeah. Otherwise, if they just got cut once and I never talked to them again and we weren't cool, I mean, that's a customer. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a relationship. But anybody, like, not on some, like, if I cut you once, you're part of my collection type shit. But it's like, yo, if we cool you and me and I cut your hair once, if we still cool, make you my client forever. We might graduate to become friends. Yeah. But it's like, there's always that foundation of the relationship. And I feel like that's number one important in life, because like life is relationships for real.
That's what Kanye West said. That's crazy. I was just listening to that today. That's wild.
Ooh, bro. I didn't want to talk about that interview, but he was spitting. He says I couldn't get behind, but the rest of it spit.
So was there a client to where no matter what you did, they wasn't satisfied?
I wouldn't necessarily consider someone like that my client. Okay. But there was like, I've realized there's a lot of people that kind of want to feel like extra involved in the process. Like, I've had clients that were like, "Hey, can you I want like a ball taper or whatever," and I put a ball taper on it, and they're like, "Can you bald it more?" And I'm like,
"You can't do that.
If I bald it more, I'm taking skin off. I don't know what you expect." And sometimes I literally just pretend, especially if I know they being picky about something they don't understand because they explain to me and it's not making sense. I just go through the motion. Or it's like a lot of times people don't know exactly what they're talking about, but you gotta like read between lines and stuff. Yeah. And then like I make maybe just one slight adjustment. It could be an imaginary adjustment. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Hell yeah, that's perfect." But it's what they really wanted. They just wanted to feel like
you did a placebo. That's what you did. That's a placebo.
High key, but it's
that's
like
crazy.
Like most of the time, most haircuts are placebos because most haircuts are very similar. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you feel about the cut after is what determines how you like. You know what I'm saying? Your evaluation of it. Like I know people that like when I was in barber school, a lot of people would do this thing where they'd be like, when somebody get out the chair. Not because it was a bad cut, but they'd be like, "Hey man, that's fine." And the client could have been the whole time in the chair looking like, "Man, this man tearing my shit up." But if enough people like say, "Hey, that's a good cut," and it doesn't seem like cap, they'd be like,
yeah. They right. Yeah. And so also, as you're growing your barber career and you're trying to drift off of that, we're wearing the shirts, you see what I'm saying? So craft over clout. So what made you kind of like have that as a little slang or anything?
Oh, so that actually started as like a little catchphrase I had. I was putting on like Instagram posts. Okay. But I came up with it because I was like, craft over cut, that sound like me, you know what I'm saying? Because like my page, you know, Cuts by Elvis for like, like the first 3 years. When I say like I literally only posted haircuts. Literally only posted haircuts. And I got a hat made with my logo on it or whatever. And I remember I wore it to class one day. It was like a science lab or something. And somebody walked up on me, they're like, "You're Elvis?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you Elvis?" And they're like, "I've been following you for like 3 years. I didn't know what you look like." And I'm like, damn. Like, when I say I was about the business, explicitly I was about the business. And I realized like it was craft over anything. Like, I didn't care what people look like, or people. I didn't care what. Let me say it again.
Yeah.
I didn't care that people didn't know what I looked like. I just cared like, hey, you know I have good hair, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you know, the craft over anyone's perception of me and this and that. And I didn't really think too much of it. I just thought it was a little catchy, little catchphrase. But then people started saying like, yo, I rock with that craft over. How do I feel that shit? And I was like, shoot, I could do a little something with it. And that was my first tat. The only thing I got tatted on me because I was like, the only thing I felt like really resonated with my spirit type shit. But, you know, I'm planning on getting other things too, but that was the first thing. Oh yeah, okay, a little whole sleeve. This might be like for my art or something. I don't know.
I see that.
And I always see like, you know, please, you know, follow him on Instagram, you know, so please follow him on Instagram. We're gonna send you the link. But what was the I guess like I always see how people would kind of like hate on it sometimes. Like you would kind of tell stories on how they would hate on it or kind of like give little suggestions. So what's that like to where they may have maybe comment on a video or they may have said something to where they didn't really understand on why that video was being recorded?
I've really I've gotten to a point where because I've literally built this up from nothing and I had everybody talking. Now keep in mind, for the first 2 years I was ass. I can show y'all pictures. I was ass. But then I realized like, yo, anything I continue to work on that I care about, I can be great at. So once I realized like I built, let's say, my business, I was like, who gonna tell me about anything? And I realize now that anytime somebody has something negative to say or is kind of giving me hate or something, I don't even have like an aggressive response anymore because I realize like hate is just indirect love. You know what I'm saying? Like people it's the opposite of like hate isn't love, it's apathy, not caring about somebody's indifference. Like they don't exist to me. But every time somebody's showing me some kind of hate, it's because either I represent something that they don't like within themselves, or I represent something that they like, but they don't have. They're not acting on that within themselves, or it's coming from a place of them caring about something. Okay. Even if it's not, they're not showing love to me. I know it's because they had love for something, and also, who know me well enough to judge me? I'm learning about myself every day. So it's like if people have something to say, it's like if you don't, I don't even know me. What you gonna say? So I don't take anything personal. But I'm not gonna front, you know, every now and then I gotta clap back, you know what I'm saying, extra hard just cause I don't, you know, I'll be doing the Drake thing, you know.
You be minding your business.
Minding my business. But it's like, when I clap back, I gotta clap back for everybody that ever said anything.
I just think one of the things that, you know, just trying to like correlate with you is just, I hate how like people kind of misskew the message that you're trying to convey. You know, we have, again, look at this one. This is very controversial, but it was with someone that cursed out Ben Shapiro, and you know the views are getting up there, and pretty much there's a lot of comments that were, I didn't really like it because that's not what I represent. Just because we got this person saying it doesn't necessarily mean we agree with it. I was trying hard to like, you know, not really go crazy, so. But, you know, again, you know, but as you just start to, like, really realize, like, once you start focusing on why other people are trying to tell you, you start to lose focus on why you even made the podcast in the first place. Or why you even made your own YouTube video in the first place. And I think, like, what's his name? Mayweather, he said, like, how you gonna let a 17th comment tell you who you are? You can't tell yourself who you are.
Oh, that's a bar. That's deep.
That was crazy. I was like, yo, why am I worried about people that don't, like you said, they don't even know you. They just seeing one aspect of you.
And I realized, bro, like people that are unbothered don't bother people.
Yeah.
everybody that's at peace wants to stay at peace. They don't go and find drama or create it. So it's kind of showed me to like, it's kind of allowed me to like give people grace, because I realized when I was in a place where, you know, not that I ever want to see the world burn or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
Not no Joker.
On some Joker shit.
But it's like back when I was like, right before I dropped out to go to barber school, bro, I was looking at my life like, so this is when I don't remember what hurricane, but it grazed Greensboro.
It was in Green?
Yeah, it was like it grazed Greensboro. It didn't really like, it wasn't in Greensboro, but
Erica maybe.
No idea. But it was 2018. It was like around fall 2018.
Maybe near, it was like, it passed Texas, right?
I have no idea.
Okay. Never mind.
But either way, I remember thinking like, yo, hypothetically, if this, like I was down. Cause like I was going through a breakup. I mean, relative to most college students, I was doing all right financially, but I had money problems because I was aspiring for bigger things. I didn't think I wanted to be in school, a bunch of other things. And I was sitting there like, yo, if this hurricane comes through and just fucks my shit up,
I'm sorry.
will I be, like, am I happy with the life that I'm living?
Damn.
And I was sitting there like,
that was dark.
Yeah, bro. Hey, bro, you gotta laugh to keep from crying, bro. Yeah. But I remember thinking like, yo, like, if this hurricane comes through, like, am I happy with the life that I'm living? And I realized like, nah. Like, I'm like, because I realized at that point I was living my life for other people's expectations. Like, not even like specifically, let's say with engineering, because, you know, I wanted to go the whole barbering route. But, actually this was right before that. Right before I committed to that. But I was realizing I was making decisions that look good on paper for other people to talk about, rather than what really resonated with who I am, what I want in this world. And I realized I didn't know exactly what I wanted. So I was like, well, let me take that first step on that path. So that's when I remember that hurricane happened. I was thinking, yo, bro, like, this might be it. And then I remember I went to go study at the library with my friend, because we had organic chemistry together. Like a week later, I went in, I was like, okay, you know, I'm buckling down with school shit. Literally 30 minutes later, I'm dropping the fuck out. Like, I knew, that's it. And then less than a week later, I went to what was going to be my future barber school, Prestige Barber College in Greensboro, North Carolina. Shout out to Dr. Gene Blackman. But yeah, and then that was when I just took off running. Like, I didn't know exactly where the vision was going to lead me, like, or whatever, but I knew that was the first decision I made for myself. And that was real powerful, because I was like, well, if I can take active control of my life, I never have to leave it in anybody else.
It was a do or die situation.
Like, in my head it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't,
like, not
the
really.
stakes weren't that crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not technically, but like, if you want to make it more impactful, I think that was kind of like the mindset you had at that time.
Oh yeah, it was this or nothing. Because I knew, like, because the, you know, engineering or whatever, it had a lot of security with it. And that's the thing that I realized, like, I was making decisions because I was avoiding fear in certain places. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, like, bro, there's no such thing as security. If this hurricane comes and fucks my whole shit up, I was living my life to be secure according to other people's standards. Mm-hmm. I would have died I wouldn't have died, but I would have evacuated, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I would have, you know, like, I would have been living a life that was determined by other people. And I was like, well, I mean, if we could die at any moment, I'm gonna live life on my terms. Yeah. And that was me dropping out was the first step on that journey. And now it's like, bro, I didn't see where I am now back then, but now, bro, nothing stops me, right? If something stopped me, it was my decision. Yeah. And I know that even if let's say it was just because I wasn't equipped for a situation, that was still my decision to not be equipped, type shit. So, you know, ultimate accountability, but it's all on me now. And I think, well, ain't God. He be pulling most of the way. He be pulling most of the way. Don't keep it saying.
So where can they find you, man? Any last words?
Yeah, man.
Y'all can find me on Instagram as well as YouTube at Cuts by Elvis. Also, Craft Over Clout brand. Damn, you would think I would know how to say the name. But yeah, that's where y'all can find me.
Well, thank you guys for listening. This is QFM, or Quest of the Future Massage. Please follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you ever need an audio, please look us up on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers. Peace.